Hello and welcome to This Week with Cody Dean. Today is August 22nd, 2026. This is a very special week. It's been a little quiet in the world of freedom and longevity around the world, so stay tuned for more updates coming on that. But this week, I want to open a conversation. Let's talk about a little bit of the psychology behind the desire to live a lot longer, but also the desire in some people to die. So there's two reasons why someone might want to live forever. The first reason being someone might have a fear of death, a fear of the unknown, a fear of what might come next, whether it be something or nothing. That not knowingness. Do I die and go to heaven? Do I die and go to hell? Do I die and then become reincarnated? If I'm reincarnated, am I going to be a bug or a horse or a cow or a human? If I'm a human, what kind of human? Will I be rich? Will I be poor? All these unknown factors. Or will there just be nothingness? Will you die and there's just nothing? That not knowing this, it can be really scary. And there's also a fear of loss, a fear of what happened to the things and the people that I'm leaving behind? What happened to my loved ones? How are they going to feel? How are they going to cope when I'm gone? The fear of what's going to happen to what I've built with my life once I'm gone. The fear of, will I be forgotten as time passes? The core of this being fear. And when people want to live a lot longer or live forever, coming from this place of fear is coming from the desire to avoid that pain, to avoid the pain of losing the life that they had, to avoid the pain of putting their loved ones and their family and their friends through suffering because of their death, the pain of dealing with the unknown, whatever it may be. Is that you? The other reason someone might want to live forever is the other end of the spectrum. A person may want to live forever or at least a lot longer because they have a love for life. They have a love for experience. They love to embrace every day, see what life has to offer them. They love life because they love to learn what's new. They know when they wake up, they're going to see something and experience something and learn something that they didn't know the day before. There's a love of togetherness and being with family and friends. And there's a love of creation when you are someone that is creating a value for society that wasn't there before, filling a need that wasn't there before, that people value and appreciate. And that love of creation, of contribution to society is exhilarating. So when someone wakes up every day with that exhilaration, with that love for life, with that joy, with that bliss, with the peace, with the happiness, with the love, the desire to live forever can come from that as well. The core of this being love and the desire to gain the pleasures of living and experiencing life. Now, this is a question of why might someone want to live forever? And these are two very, very different answers. But what is the difference between the core of that? The core of fear motivating someone to want to live forever because they fear the unknown, they fear death, they fear loss, or the motivation to live forever because of that love and exhilaration for that life and the desire to continue contributing, to continue experiencing. Think about this for a moment. Take a breath and put yourself in the shoes of that type of person. Put yourself in the shoes of the type of person who fears death and fears the unknown. You're trying to avoid the pain. You're trying to avoid losing the life you've built. You're trying to avoid losing your loved ones, your family, and your friends. You're trying to avoid dealing with the unknown that may come after death. Now, what is this feeling as you think about this? You're avoiding the pain. You're trying to prevent something from happening. You're trying to prevent yourself from feeling a certain way, from experiencing certain things. And so that drive to live forever is, if someone from that point of view were to achieve it, great, they're living forever, but are they truly living? It's You have this in wealth creation as well. Some people who create large amounts of wealth for themselves have done so because they have a fear of being destitute, which means their fear of being poor, their fear of not being able to provide for themselves and their family is so great and so intense that they can't think of anything else but to go to work every day and to build and scale and do more and more and more and more. And yeah, it accumulates a lot of wealth, but underneath that, as they're accumulating and scaling, there's that fear of, if I stop, everything goes away and I'll lose everything. And this is the person that dies a billionaire feeling like they didn't have enough. And they're the person that dies a billionaire but didn't enjoy life. They didn't spend time with their family. Maybe these are the people who have estranged children. And that happens with this desire to live forever as well. Someone may have such a fear of the unknown or this fear of loss that they over optimize their health and their lifestyle to a point where they're not really living anymore. Someone who only goes outside for 20 minutes a day or whatever the number, because that's the optimal amount of sunlight to get, and any more than that is dangerous and any less than that is suboptimal, and they only eat certain things, and they take this whole array of supplements that is supposed to help them live a lot longer, and they forget to live life doing that, and they're stressing their body to do that as well. And so at some point, this person might as well cryopreserve themselves and just stay alive in a technical sense, because they're not really living anyways. The other side of this, someone who desires to live longer because they love life, they're exhilarated, they spend time traveling with their family, with their friends, doing things they love to do, and they know that what they're doing is contributing to society. There's value that they're bringing to society around them, to the community around them. And they feel good about themselves. And that value that you feel you produce, you see it reflected back to you through the love of your spouse, of your significant other, of your family, of your friends, of your customers, your clients, of your community around you that you benefit. And the desire to just keep doing that. When you wake up exhilarated and you know, I am loving life, today is going to be awesome, and when I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to feel so good, and I know when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to feel as good again, and I'm going to want to do that. And the next day, I'm going to want to wake up. And the next day, I'm going to want to wake up. And the next day, I'm going to want to wake up. How does that one feel? That one feels open-ended. You're not afraid. You're not avoiding confrontation of the unknown. Actually, you're confronting the unknown more so than anybody, because to push forward like that in a vector of value creation is to push into the unknown. It is to innovate in whatever field you're in. So you are the best at confronting unknowns. You're not afraid. And because of that, because you take responsibility of creating your life, of leading your own life, life becomes a joy. You feel that happiness every day, and you could see yourself doing that day after day after day after day after day. But there's another question here, because we are in the world we're in today. So you can go out and you can ask people, do you want to live radically longer, potentially live forever? And many times the answer you're going to get is no. So let's ask another question. Why would someone want to die? And again, there's two reasons why someone might want to die. And pay attention, this is really interesting. You're going to like this. The first reason someone might want to die is because they've resigned to the status quo, to life as it is. Because they feel like life is a burden, that they're holding on to pain and trauma from the past, and it's heavy to carry that on someone's shoulders. Someone might want to die because they're bored with life. They're not excited. They're not doing things that pull them out of bed in the morning because they want to keep going. People want to die because of the things they've lost. Maybe they've seen too many family members die. Maybe they've seen their significant other die. Maybe they've seen their friends die, and they feel like they're walking alone through the world. Those are all reasons that people want to die. Those are some of the big reasons. And many of us have felt those things to some degree or another. But what's the second reason someone may want to die? Going back to that first reason someone may want to die, if you look at the root of that, what does it sound like? It sounds like avoiding pain. If you've resigned to the status quo and you're bored with life, that's painful. We as humans, as conscious beings, we're not designed for complacency. We're not designed for stagnation. We aren't designed to be bored. That is pain. Boredom is on that emotional scale of pain. So the second reason someone may want to die. Maybe some of you out there have lived a really great life. You've contributed immense value to society. You've loved, you've created a family, you've created a community around you of people that love you, friends that you can call up that multiply your happiness, or you can call them up when you're not feeling so good and they'll help you feel better. You've found your purpose in life and you fulfilled it. You did what you were here to do. You have a feeling of completion. You've done your duty in this life and you're at peace with that. Or maybe someone may want to die because of martyrdom. They accept and embrace the idea of death as long as they are contributing to something bigger than themselves, be it a movement or a nation or a child that they're protecting or whatever it may be. The idea of dying for a cause is something that many people embrace. And maybe some people want to die, not maybe, some people want to die because of their conviction, of their belief in what is coming in the afterlife. Instead of being afraid of the unknown of what comes after death, maybe they are convinced and sure that when I die, I'm going to go to heaven, or when I die, I know I'm going to be reincarnated, or when I die, I know nothing is going to be. There will be no sense of awareness, no sense of feeling or anything. It's just nothingness. And someone may have embraced that, and it would go back to that feeling of completion again. And someone in this state, they're not running away from anything. They're not avoiding pain. This is embracing the end of a cycle. It's indirectly related to gaining pleasure because this person feels complete. They feel that satisfaction and that pride, that good sense of pride that they did what they were supposed to do and it's completed, and now it's time to close the door, close the book on that experience. And they can embrace that with love and acceptance. Again, there's that root. It's coming from a place of love. Now, did you notice the common denominator here? The reason someone might want to live radically longer is to avoid pain or to escape fear, or to gain pleasure or experience more love for life. And then the reason someone might want to die, the complete opposite of wanting radically more life, the reason someone may want to die are the same two things. They want to avoid pain. They want to escape fear. or they want to gain pleasure and embrace and accept the unknown. So what's interesting about this conversation, and why I said at the beginning I want to open this conversation, is because who really knows what's coming in the afterlife? It really is unknown. I don't know of anybody who has quantifiably and can substantiate the claims of having died and come back and been able to explain in detail what happens in the afterlife. If it's happened, please tell me in the comments and let me follow up on that lead, because I would be very interested to hear it, but I have not found that yet. But this is an interesting conversation because one thing it does is it gives you a peek into your own psychology, into your own psyche. Number one, to confront what you want. Do you want to live, or do you want to die? And once you know the answer to that, why? Is it because you want to avoid pain or escape fear? Or do you want to live or die because of the love and the pleasure you're going to gain in that embracing of the unknown and of the future? Why did I take a whole episode for this? Because you can't move into the future if you don't know where you are. You can't progress if you don't know where you're starting. If you don't know where you're at, you're just going to keep going in circles. You've got to confront where you are. Not just physically where you are. You may be at home or at work or wherever you may be. I'm talking about where you are psychologically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You've got to know where you're at. Then you can move from there. If you're watching this and you're actually engaging in this thought experiment and you discover that, yeah, I do want to live forever, but the reason I want to live forever is because I'm afraid. Confront that. Feel it. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing at all. You're not the only one who's going to feel that, trust me. But it's better to know that. And if you want to be coming from a place of love, if you want to be the kind of person who is open-ended and not running away from something, that embraces life and wakes up every day with exhilaration, peace, bliss, and joy, the first step is to know where you are. And then you can change things in your life in order to move to that place of love, of gaining pleasure. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm putting together a course that expands on this thought exercise. And a person who goes through it will start with this exercise, know where they're at, and be able to, from wherever they find themselves on this scale, be able to either embrace where they're at because they're happy with that, or move to where they want to be and have an actionable plan to get there. And some people, when they go through this course, they may find that they are happy with where they're at. Maybe you hear this and you realize, yes, I'm someone who wants to die. But the reason I want to die is because I feel like I've done my part in this world. I've contributed my value, and I want to close the door on this chapter of my existence. Great. There's nothing wrong with that. I am in that mode of thinking that death shouldn't be obsolete. It should be optional. So someone who does feel complete and that they want to move on and embrace the unknown of what comes afterwards, fantastic. I just hope you do it with love and acceptance. And some of you may find yourself in that camp of, I don't want to die. I do want to live. For either reason, because you're afraid or because you are in love with life and want to do it for as long as possible. And in either one of those cases, the next step for you is to see how we can shift the social dynamics and see what's in place and why so many people do want to die, why so many people don't want to continue life, and see how we can go about affecting that change so more people want to live. And if more people want to live, that's how change happens. So sit with this for this week. Next week, we'll be back and we will have updates on the news and freedom and longevity. But for this week, think through this exercise. Watch this video again, save it so you can view it another time and see where you are on the scale. And watch for when that course is released, and we'll be able to take this a lot deeper. Until next week, stay alive.